Hello! Welcome to Talking Utter Slot, the Slot Car podcast. My name is Scott Brownlee. I'm joined as always by my co-host and self-confessed chassis shaver, Pedro.
Hello everybody.
We start with a quote attributed to the actress Bo Derek. Whoever said money can't buy you happiness simply didn't know where to go shopping. This week, both of us, coincidentally, went shopping at the same shop, but not at the same time. We'll be talking about the joys of visiting an actual model shop with stuff on the shelves begging to be bought. Who succumbed and what did they buy? All will be revealed later. We'll also be discussing what has caught our eye in the slot car news, my latest adventure in slot racing, spoiler alert, I didn't win, and having loudly proclaimed our Ban BO campaign, the campaign to ban box opening videos on YouTube, we'll be having a box opening. Of course, with this being more radio than TV, there's no video. Instead, and hopefully more entertainingly, if not informatively, Pedro will unwrap something he's bought, waxing lyrical about it, and I'll react to what I alone can see being revealed. Regular listeners will know that Pedro will see stuff on the internet, enthuse about it, and then declare he's not going to be buying one. So with that in mind, Pedro, what are you not buying this week?
Can I just say, I know we talked it through, but that was quite the most impressive intro, and I'm going to be working the music quite hard, I think, in between that. So that's the longest we've had so far. If anyone is still listening, congratulations. Also, I love what you did there. I love your work, mentioning Bo Derek and shopping, and then talking about us going shopping. Although I was more focused on picturing Bo Derek, which suddenly I am doing again.
Modern Bo Derek or Bo Derek from a certain film?
Ooh, no.
I know the answer. You don't have to.
Almost certainly from 10, because or the Tarzan film, because I think she took a top off in that. But a modern one, no. That's going to make me go Google, because I'm worried to think what Bo Derek looks like now. And isn't that sexist? We should move off this topic very quickly, otherwise we'll lose our rating with the American market.
We should. What? So apart from aging film stars, what caught your eye this week?
No, I wanted to go off on another one. No, what caught my eye? Well, I saw the and it is a The NSR are now doing their modern Formula 22. I think they're calling it, aren't they? Their modern F1 car, rather like their retro 82 car. I don't think it's the right years. They're now doing a generic Formula 1, really rather copying Polycar, which of course is what got the NSR socials all uppity when some Scale Auto had the temerity to copy them. We discussed this, I'm rambling, we discussed this Formula 1, didn't we? And we both kind of decided, meh. But it caught my eye. It's caught your eye. It's,
why though? Just because it's new, or because you quite like modern Formula 1, don't you?
I do.
You can confess. No one's listening. You can confess. Do you watch modern Grand Prix racing?
My name is Pedro, and I have a habit. I will watch a Formula 1 race. I will quite enjoy watching a Formula 1 race. I've got a buddy. Yes, I have one buddy. And he's given up on Formula 1, which I think is so sad, because I think he's missing out. But he says he isn't. And I don't know. All the hoo-ha and the shenanigans, yeah, it's a bit tiresome. But yes, I do watch it. And no, I don't like this NSR. I didn't like the other one, the retro one, and I don't like this one. I do possess two Polycar generic F1s, and I like them. I like them so much I badgered the club into agreeing to race them. I don't know how that'll turn out. We're not doing it for a few weeks, but it's become a class. So yeah, NSR Formula 1's caught my eye, and here I am talking about the Polycar. What does that tell us?
And you bought one, but not the other, so that's not so bad.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I just think they're... I get why they're not in livery, because of licensing and also for club cars and all that sort of thing. And I'm sure if you've got a great track, club track, and there's lots of you racing them, they're probably jolly exciting. But I'm more of a, is it a scale model? Is it a car I like? And so they don't really.
But the problem is those licenses, because I think that's the issue with Scalextric doing theirs. The licenses are just so expensive, though they are doing, I think, a couple this year, the Williams and the McLaren. And I also believe history will prove me wrong, that NSR are doing some much closer to current liveries on these modern Formula 22s. I may be wrong there.
I don't. That would be brave. It's an interesting litmus test of my kind of slot car, though. I would be more likely to buy the Scalextric McLaren or Williams than I would be the NSR, even though I know that the NSR would be much faster. So looks trump speed from my.
Yeah, but Scott, we all know if you want to go faster, what do?
Turn up the voltage.
Boom. I'm just feeding him the lines. Yeah, I mean, it will run faster, it will be smoother, and it won't fall off the track as much as the Scalextric one will. But it just doesn't appeal to me. Also not appealing to me today or this week. And I declared this it's the Chinese year of Sunoco, isn't it? 2023. There's another Sunoco 512.
There's definitely a conspiracy. It's this is somewhere along. I don't know whether it's a kind of. Is there some sort of copyright up? Is that what it is? Is it because there's certain time? Anyway, there's an awful lot of Sunoco Ferraris
or is
all
it
of a sudden.
Some kind of cabal, which is a great word? Some deep state thing that they're all agreeing to organise and send out the Sunocos at the same time. But this is a 124th, so it's not like your slot it one. It's a 124th Sunoco, and I believe it has the new BRM chassis. So this will be different to the older BRM 512s. It has some kind of floating nonsense happening with the chassis. Still not tempted. That's another one I'm not going to buy.
Okay, I'm going to. This is a genuine question. Does the BRM slot car company make a model of a BRM?
I don't believe they do. No. The irony.
This strikes me as a huge gap in the product portfolio. Anyway, what else? What else aren't you buying this week?
Also, not buying this week.
not in your shopping cart. Yeah.
Another slotted McLaren M8D Can-Am car from Laguna Seca. Laguna Seca, a track I love to run on GT Sport. Yeah, I haven't gone up to Gran Turismo 7 yet, although I have a copy. I just don't race it. A Dayglow. Someone, did I read it? It's quite a vivid paint job, and somebody made the comment of it really kind of epitomizes the 70s, and it does, because it's a big banger race car, and it's got this amazing livery on it that it just screams at you. You won't have any trouble seeing that in the darker corners of your track, that's for sure. But I won't be buying one.
It's Stars and Stripes, isn't it? It's a very I don't.
It's a version, isn't it?
Well,
it's sort of a version of Stars and Stripes.
It's red, white, and blue, and stripy. So I think that can be Stars and Stripes ish. It's very American, put it that way. It looks very 70s American. If Evel Knievel drove a Can-Am car, it would be that car.
And in the pits, he would pedal up to it on a chopper bicycle, and then put his bike stand up, get off his chopper bicycle. The American listener. Oh, I think we've got 2 American listeners. Meant to say that. Hello to both our American listeners. You know who you are. But yeah, it's Evel Knievel. It's chopper bicycles. It's what else was 70s? ABBA.
I thought you were going to say one of our American listeners was Bo. That would have been a coincidence, given.
Oh no! Don't tell me Bo Derek listens to this nonsense.
Don't get put off. Don't get put off. She may be listening. Just leave it at that.
Oh no! Now I've gone all self-conscious.
There's a first. Anyway, the other thing which I think we both spotted, is the Pioneer have got yet another Mustang. Now,
yawn.
No. Mustangs are always good, and at least with this one, looks like a Mustang. Certain other.
You're going straight to hell for that one.
And I think it probably performs quite well. I like. We're
talking about.
I like Pioneer cars, I have to say. And I know we've talked about it before. They go this. What are we sweating the mold, or till it, the asset? It's great. The small company, I recognise why they're doing it. I do wish they would bring out something new. I don't know what.
Well, that's what I said to you. Yeah, I said they are working that mold until it squeals, and I think it's really squealing now. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I do have an itch to have a Mustang, and I was never going anywhere near that Thunder slot. What? Where do you think?
I'm glad that sentence ended the way it did.
What, and didn't involve Bo Derek? Oh, God, come on. Focus. Two men of a certain age just suddenly daydreaming about Bo Derek. Anyway.
And don't lump me
I
in
would
that
like
one.
to see... No. Good point. I would like to see them do a different model. I would like to see them do some other kind of yank tank. Apologies to the American duo.
Let's as a service to the slot car industry, what would we, slot car gurus as we are, what advice would we give to Pioneer for their next model? What would we want them to make?
Well, I think I've betrayed in the previous episode my stunning knowledge, previous 2 episodes, my stunning knowledge of American muscle cars, in that I thought a Challenger was a Charger and a Charger was a Challenger and a Monte Carlo is something else. I don't know, just something different. They do... is it the Charger is the bullet car? So they do that one. I'd like a Trans Am. I do like a Trans Am, like one with a Firebird on it. What I would call a Burt Reynolds Trans Am.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I think we just lost. I think we just lost the 2 American listeners as I said
that. It's a very. You can tell our age. The fact we're talking about Bo Derek and Burt Reynolds. Younger listeners, Google is available. These are all ancient film stars, but that would be good. Okay, that's fair enough.
But I wouldn't buy one. I'd like them to do it, but I wouldn't buy one.
Right. Okay. You're allowed one more you wouldn't buy. What one more thing wouldn't you buy this week?
What, that caught my eye?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that I wouldn't buy. Well, there's one more that I might buy. Shock. Yes.
Well, the slot car retailers across the globe are poised to fulfill your order.
Get that parcel ready. Get some bubble wrap. He's going to commit.
He's going to say.
The Revo Slot Alpha. I need a Revo Slot Alpha 132nd in my life. I have a BRM 124th Alpha in my life, and it's brought me much joy. But I need a 132nd, and they announced some new liveries, and I put it on our show notes as oh my god, more fantasy shenanigans. This will not do. But then pre-recording, we chatted and discovered that the Kent livery that they're planning to do is in fact a genuine thing. It raced at Spa in 73, I think it was, and also as a sort of old timer in the 24-hour at the Nürburgring. So it's a genuine livery. It looks quite nice, and I'm slightly annoyed that I missed the first tranche of alphas that they released. So I think I need to have one of these. Yeah.
You feel the need. I think we should mark, though, that that's a rare occasion where, for Talking Utter Slot, we did the research before recording the show rather than after. And, so this is just evolution. This is an evolutionary process. I'm not a huge fan of Revo Slot Alpha. And again, a bit of a trend here. If I could find that livery on a Fly Alpha, and I think they did it way back when, I would snap that up. It would be slower, but I think it would look better.
So I've got confused almost immediately. We're 14 minutes in, and I've got confused partly because I'm listening out for my washing machine to start beeping in a moment. Oh, there it goes.
on cue.
Absolutely. Such a professional with my timings. It's amazing. It's probably going to beep again in a minute, but I'll leave it. No, I'm confused. You would buy the Fly, but not the Revo slot.
Yes, because it's pretty. It's pretty.
Yeah, but so's the Revo slot. Pretty. Well, yeah, and it'll run well because it hasn't got the motor in the front, which is a stupid thing.
Yeah, but it's a bit too low. It doesn't look as right as a model, put it that way. I think it's just me. I'm weird. I'm weird that way, but there you go.
Yep, I will agree. There's possibly more of a die-cast look to the Fly, i.e. it's possibly more accurate and just nicer, but it does have the motor in the front, and that's just stupid.
No, it's lovely. I've got one in the red livery with the white roof, is it, from memory?
The red one with the white roof, yes.
That one, the famous red one with the white roof. And it... either the washing machine's getting persistent or we're being edited live. One of the two.
It is very
Do you want to go
uppity
and
my
deal?
washing
Do you want to go and deal with your uppity washing machine?
Why don't you talk to the listeners and I will go? No, I think that'll be it. I don't think there'll be another beep, beep, beep. Apologies. This is so unprofessional, Scott.
It's not my washing machine.
No,
Right.
no. I'm saying I'm just spreading the blame. You have to take
Okay.
50% of it.
50% of the blame. I'm not talking over the washing machine. Okay, in that case, that's fine. Shall we move on to me going racing?
Yes. Should we have some
Okay.
kind of intro to that?
Well,
Scott, did you go racing?
I went racing, and this is
Yeah.
a kind of one race begets another. So I went to Worthing several weeks ago, and there was a number of people, and that was good fun. And one of the chaps there was David. And then I went to another club which was local to me a few weeks after that, and by coincidence, except it wasn't really, because it turns out he lives quite close to me. I didn't know that at the time. He was there as well, and he had some folks round to his place because he's got a very nice, and I want to emphasise the very and the nice 4-lane polycar track in his house, which is fantastic track. And he invited a bunch of folk round on Easter Saturday. And so there was a few people I'd met before. Most of them I didn't know. A couple sort of knew from way back when, early days of Slot Forum. But the long story was there was about a dozen of us, and we were there for the afternoon, and we raced Sideways GT3 is one class, and we raced Skeletric's Group A, so BMW, Sierras, Rovers, which David had prepared, so they were all the same. Pretty much, he tested them to be pretty much identical lap times, and we had to pick and we just vary which car we used. And so it gave me the excuse to buy a Sideways GT3 because I hadn't got one. So I picked a very pretty blue one because I have a soft spot for blue cars.
Shame on you for not having one already. I think that was a big gap in your collection, young man.
Well, it's filled now, sort of thing. So, although it does mean that my GT3 class and my own little racing has now got one very dominant car, namely the Sideways. The Carreras are never going to keep up with that. But and then so that was good, and I came not last, nearly last, but not last, but that's fine. And then when we raced the Group A cars, which were no magnet and a bit slower, a bit more top heavy and all that sort of thing, and on polycar, and I've got polycar, so that kind of familiar with it all. I did better, and in fact I won one of the heats, and I won the heat racing the Bastos Rover, which delighted me no end.
Bastos,
it was absolutely it was meant to be, and I'm not bitter at all, but I was leading another race with the Bastos Rover. And two Sierras ganged up on me, and I ended up not leading the race. That may be a lack of skill on my part, but I'm blaming the Ford Sierras because cheating bastards. Anyway,
if in doubt, blame the Ford Sierras. There's another T-shirt for us.
Blame the Ford Sierras. They ruined the BTCC. No, I'm joking. But we had a great afternoon. As I say, lovely track, and it was nice to. I mean, there's some guys there who were so quick. Had a really nice line, which was that slot cars were simple. The round things have to be round, and the straight things have to be straight. And I looked quizzically at the young chap who said this to me. And of course, it made sense that the wheels and the axle, they need to be round and the axles need to be straight. And if you get all of that right, and you would think, well, isn't that a given? Well, anybody who remembers buying old SCX cars will know that axles were seldom straight and wheels very often not round. And indeed, Sideways GT3 cars, front wheels, not the roundest things in the world, it must be said. I mean, the guys I was racing, I took mine out the box and raced it. I lubed it a bit, but that was it. They had been turning aluminium wheels and putting the inserts in and all sorts of things to get the front axle. But that's what makes the car go faster, and they can exploit that, so that's great.
No, sorry, stop.
They'd
made their own aluminum wheels.
No, I think there was aftermarket sort of better wheels, which they had then turned the model's wheel down so they could get the insert to go into the wheel, so that it looked proper rather than just a dustbin.
Can you see that puzzled look on my face again? The insert comes out of a Sideways
Not
plastic?
easily. I gather because
Oh,
again, not to go into too much. Mine arrived missing a
I was,
one front wheel insert,
I
and
was
a
going to say they
well-known.
fall out easily enough.
Well, I spoke to the retailer who very kindly said we've tried to get one off another car and they seem to be well glued on, so they're going to send me another
Yeah.
entire wheel. So yeah, but rare thing. But so there was lots of preparation, lots of good fun. We were there for about 6 hours. It was great. So I started the year by saying I don't go racing. And I've been to clubs about 6 times, and it's only Easter. So there you go. I'm going to have to
You're doing a
change that.
full-on tour of the nation, the nation's
Oh,
clubs.
that's yeah. There's a tour T-shirt, isn't it? There's a tour
Mm.
slots on tour.
Well, I've
Um,
already written down several T-shirt possible
okay, the merch.
legends today. If the merch, yeah.
Is it time for us to visit the merch store? This is a virtual merch store, listener. There is no
Only exists in our heads.
It's the value for money on our merch store is off the scale because it costs you nothing. What's what's the new T-shirt this week? What we're having?
Well, I've already written. Oh well, in the pre-show,
Uh-huh.
um, the thing about the printing one. Shall I say that?
Go on,
Because it was
see it.
your line, I believe.
No, I can't remember
3D
it.
3D printing, a fad that's clearly past.
This and other erroneous forecasts on talking utter slut. Yeah, well, the reason we said that was we, having seen a spate, is that the right word, of 3D printed things, there didn't seem to be any recently. So
No,
we're
it's
all
clearly it's a bubble that's burst, Scott. A bubble that has burst.
bubbles, but yeah, it's a fad,
Mm.
just a fad. Yeah,
Yeah,
there you go.
that's
Anyway,
what
so that
happens
was
with
me.
bubbles.
That was me going racing, and I used my new Truspeed controller for the first time.
Oh, how'd you go with that?
I twiddled my knobs, and I'm sure it made a difference. But that's
We've already discussed Bo Derek. Let's not go back there.
exactly. No, it was love. I have to be very careful. What impressed me most, because literally this is the first time I used it because I can't use it at home, and it was a new car on a new track, so blah blah blah. But the smoothness of the trigger
There you
action
go.
is just lovely, absolutely lovely. So
Hold up,
mm,
because I've got an issue there. The trigger action, yeah, the trigger action is smooth. How could it not be? I suppose it could be clunky, but it's just the power delivery of the thing that amazed me and continues to amaze me. It's just the car is so smooth. Never mind the trigger. The car is so smooth in the corners, don't you think?
I suppose the fact that I won one of the Group A races is probably evidence of
Boom.
that.
Yeah.
But I think I need to wire it up to my home or a track I'm familiar with because everything was new, new controller, new car, new track. So
Mm.
I was being cautious, but I'm probably not the guy who's going to notice. The guys who I was the guys who I was in a race at the same time as. I definitely wasn't racing
Hang
again.
on. No, those Sierra boys mugged you. You were racing them, and they mugged you.
That's true. That's true. No, but
Mm.
in the GT, I mean, they were like 2 laps.
Oh,
They were way ahead.
mm.
So they would probably be able to tell. But I was hanging on. That was what I was doing.
So you mentioned the trigger action, and I
Mm.
immediately picked up this small piece of plastic, which listeners can see very clearly on the screen right now.
The audio description for he's holding up what looks like a piece of sellotape that says bag.
No,
I'm hoping.
it does say bag, doesn't it? Actually, no, it says rag, doesn't it? Well, whatever. But can you see what's inside? If I hold it
No.
still. Okay.
Yeah, because you're holding it still would be good. Yeah.
Two, two springs.
No.
Two springs for a
Springs.
Truspeed controller. Because although you say the action is very good, I have found the action on mine just to be too good. And it's just there's not enough resistance in the trigger. So
Sorry. So we're saying
what?
something can be too good. That
Yeah, the smoothness of that trigger is too good. I mean, I'm impressed by the Truspeed brand. There's customer service, yada yada yada. But that trigger is just too smooth for me because I'm an insensitive sod, I suppose. And so I've tightened it up as far as it'll go, and it's still too insensitive. So I've purchased from Mr. Truspeed 2 spare springs, and I'm going to experiment with restricting their springiness and see if I can't tighten up the action a little bit.
so
No.
So they offer different strengths of spring just for the trigger, do
No,
they?
no, they don't. They offer one strength of spring, and so
Okay.
I've bought two spares, and I'm going to just kind of restrict the movement on one, or on possibly two of them, and substitute those in, and just see if I can tighten things up a bit.
Okay. We look forward to hearing how that goes.
You know, everything I'm saying right now, I want to reference Bo Derek as well. This is bad. We're going to lose our PG rating. Sorry.
This is true. Let's move on to going shopping.
Yeah, we went shopping, didn't we?
We went
Oh no,
shopping.
that doesn't move us on because you mentioned Bo Derek about shopping. So
Well, that was actually I turned to Google for an interesting quote about shopping, and Bo Derek came up. So
yeah, I'm going to
and
turn to Google for an interesting thing about Bo. No.
so just a
Anywho,
reminder,
you went shopping.
I went. Well, it said whoever said money can't buy you happiness simply didn't know where to go shopping, and we went to the same shop, which
At different times.
At different times, which was Gaugemaster down in near Arundel in Sussex, which is somewhere I was out visiting and is not far from where you happen to be. And now most people will never have been to Gaugemaster. They're actually very big in model railways, and the shop is really their warehouse. It's the front showroom on the warehouse, and they've got they must have everything for model railways of every scale. Lots of, and it's great. I mean, for sort of toy model freaks like you and I, it's a lovely thing to visit because they've got a layout and there's just so much stuff that you can see. But they also do slot cars and Airfix and Tamiya, etc. And the slot car corner, for such as it is, has got Fly, Skeletrix, Carrera, SCX, I think a bit of Polycar.
Thunderslot. Did you not see the Thunderslot Mustangs? Let's not mention the Thunderslot Mustangs.
I did see the Thunderslot supposed Mustang.
Yeah.
So I went in for a bit of a smooch round, thinking I probably would get a Carrera 935 because I haven't got a Carrera.
Okay, I think you were about to tell us, and I'm sorry I jumped in there, but this is interesting to me. Why did you think Carrera 935?
Because I've got lots of Fly 935s. I've got old SCX stroke Skeletrix 935s. I've got Sideways 935s. I've even got Scale Auto 935. But I didn't have a Carrera one. That's a bit of a lie because I've got the Moby Dick, but I haven't got the standard kind of short key, the classic 935, the Porsche. And I'm kind of curious. I was curious to know what it was like. The sort of same thing by different people. What's the difference? And this recently they'd announced a livery which is a light blue with Mambo sponsorship. I have no idea what Mambo is, but
it's Italiano.
Of course, yeah. Well, I don't.
Who sang that?
Dean Martin. Dean Martin. Shall we have a short rendition? No. Anyway, I was sort of I'd been resisting for a few weeks, and I thought, well, I'll get that. And then on the shelf, I picked it up. I thought, yes, it's lovely. But they also had the BMW M1, and I've got lots of Fly ones of those. I've got lots of XCX ones of those. I thought, well, maybe I should get one of those. That looks nice. And then down on a lower shelf, I spotted a Jaegermeister 935, and absolutely, if you were going to have one 935, having a Jaegermeister one would be the way to go. But I've already got a couple of them, so I stuck with the Mambo. But I also had a look at the Skeletric stuff, and the reason I was going to rambling on about all of this is I thought there's that child. I've got my pocket money. I've got money for sweets, and I've gone into the shop and everything's there, but I can only spend my money once. And there's all these things I could have, and which one am I going to have? And although I went in going, I want this, I flirted with the M1, I flirted with the Jägermeister, I even looked at the Skeletric stuff, and maybe I'll have another VW van. All these things, but anyway, I ended up coming out with what I sort of went in for. And I was delighted because when I got it home and I opened it up and found out there's several miles of wire and circuit boards, and I don't know how much. I honestly thought when I took it apart, I thought this is a digital car that's been missold in a normal box. There was so much circuitry in there. Anyway, I rummaged through it all, finally found the magnet screw, undid all that because the whole point is to take the magnets out. And when I stuck it on the track, it was a whizzed round. And now it's not as quick as the sideways car. It weighs 20 grams more, so that's up in percentage.
Holy cow! Does it really?
Which is about 25% more, so it's a fairly big weight penalty. Probably
Yikes.
most of it in superfluous wiring. But anyway, it handled really well. It's got a huge, big, long guide. It'll bat around my track endlessly, and I can abuse it or drive it smoothly. I just loved it. And I say I got to be within about half a second of the sideways car. So in terms of did it deliver me joy? Did I derive pleasure from my purchase? It absolutely hit the nail on the head. So that's what I bought. But what did you succumb?
I find it weird that
there's no one listening. You can confess to me. It's all right.
They've all turned off now because it's just grubbiness now. It's just not. This isn't about slot cars. I lost it. I find it weird that you and I were both in the same neck of the woods at the same similar sort of time. I mean, I think probably at least 72 hours between our visits. But and in fairness, there aren't that many shops in the south of England that actually carry slot stuff. But I think it's weird that we were both going to the same place and that we both kind of had the same idea, because I had gone along. I had looked at slotcarpassion.com, great website, and seen that there was was it Slot Car Today? Not sure. I'd looked at one of those two, and
other slot car websites are available.
But are they? I mean, those two are the best for sure. I don't get a kickback yet. I had seen the 917 Carrera and looked at it and just thought it was a stunningly bland livery to do. It's basically yellow with a number on, and that's it. And I just thought, why on earth would you do it? And suddenly I was kind of curious. But although I didn't like that car, I was thinking, you know what? It's been a while since I bought a Carrera, and I liked my old DTMs, and I liked my Ferrari 512. I've still got both of those. They haven't made it into the eBay box. So I poodled along to Gaugemaster, thinking I might just look at Carreras. The thing is, I had already pulled the trigger on an order for on an order with Mr. Sean Pendle of Lancashire, and I had a Carrera on it en route to me. So when I went to Gaugemaster, all I bought was a motor mount for a Polycar F1. But I looked at, and I was sore tempted by that car, the very car that you purchased, because it was only about 40 quid, wasn't it? There she blows, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just describe the scene to you. He's waving around a blue 935 in front of the camera, and it's very pretty, although he's got quite fat fingers and you can't see much of it, but there you go. Anywho, unboxing.
Yes. So this, I think you've given a hint there. It's a Carrera. You said you'd ordered a Carrera from Pendle's.
Yes, I ordered a Polycar and a Carrera. So
right.
It was a buy two, get two deal.
Now, for those who hadn't listened to the last episode, I decided, we're sort of fed up of seeing people unboxing things on video and reading out the country of origin and all that sort of stuff. If you like that sort of thing, great, but just buy the box. Anyway, so we said let's
just buy the box.
Yeah, don't bother about that. I'm sure boxes are all the same, but we wanted to ban box opening videos semi-seriously, lighthearted. So the very next episode I come along, and what does he tell me? He wants to open a box.
Live, on air. I will open a box.
So last week we had live Googling. This week it's live box opening. So we discussed how best to do this, given that this is effectively radio. And some of, so you're not going to be able to see what he's talking about. And we thought, in the spirit of truly great radio broadcasts of the past, sort of descriptions of, the Normandy landings or the Queen's coronation or any
War
one
of
a
the
number
Worlds.
Or War of the Worlds. Do it in the style of War of the Worlds. No. So Pedro is now going to talk us through himself opening a box. If there's any more self-indulgent podcasting, I've yet to hear it.
This will drag the viewers in, Scott. I guarantee it. So here we have a box. And I've realised that there isn't much space between my microphone and the camera on my lappy toppy, so we won't be able to necessarily work this particularly well. But you need to describe what I am waving at the box, at the camera there, Scott.
Well, it's a Carrera box. It's one of those large Carrera boxes. They're very sturdy because, let's face it, Carrera cars are very sturdy.
I believe their boxes weigh 20 grams more than Sideways boxes.
I would easily, I should think. I mean, after a nuclear war, Carrera boxes will be used as habitation. So, and it's still got the seals. Have you not even broken the quality assurance seal?
No, I haven't. Actually, that's going to be a bugger, isn't it? Live on air, I'm going to really struggle with that. We might have to do an edit here because my fingernails will get through that.
There'll be some gentle music while Peter tries to open the box.
Oop, done it.
Oh,
done it.
There we go.
So, just so you know, that's on the left-hand side. On the left-hand side, there is a sticker that says Carrera. I'm now going to turn to the right-hand side, and there's a sticker that says
Carrera.
Amazing. Let me just break my fingernails on that. So that's the stickers on either side undone.
Our Austrian listener is going to be so proud of this moment.
Oh, it's going to be spitting feathers. So if I look down on the box...
Yeah, what do you see?
Well, I see through the box, basically. It's a crystal case. So I can look down on it and I can see what's inside. Marvellous. Okay. Marvellous. If I turn it upside down, can you see that?
Uh-huh.
I can't see what's in the box.
Well, you can because there's a label that tells you. So to be
there's
fair,
a label, but I can't see what's on the box. Anyhow, I'm going to open the box.
The box, the car, I can tell listeners that the car is mostly white with blue. A live lid crashing open.
Sorry, did the mic pick that up? I apologize.
Yes.
So look at that. Look at the beauty of that. Oh.
And what are you holding up, Peter? Tell the listeners what you're holding.
So here's the thing. I don't like Beamers, but this is a BMW M1 Pro car. Denim. Oh, and it's really well attached to the box. Just talk amongst yourselves while I undo the screw.
I noticed the same thing with that 935. I'm a fairly big bloke, and I strained to get that undone. I don't know what they torque them up to, but bloody hell.
Not as bad as the old SCX car to plinth fixing things, which were a nightmare.
Oh, the digital ones with a little lever that you can't quite get at.
Well, it was all the... Oh, yeah, they have changed that, haven't they? But the old ones used to be rubbish as well. So, yeah, I don't like BMW, but I do have something like 13 or 14 fly BMWs. I believe they may have done this livery, but I thought, since I suddenly had a bee in my bonnet about trying Carrera again, I thought I'd go with this. And it is a sweetly pretty model, I have to say. I mean, I would say that as a model is every bit as good as a fly. I mean, the rear of it is just peachy. Nicely detailed.
Yeah, I'm a Carrera fan, so you won't get me. I think they do some nice stuff.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the looks of that. But I was thinking to myself, I almost unboxed it, not live on air, because I think sometimes, Scott, when they do their unboxings, they're fake and they've actually already unboxed it. I'm not going to name names, but I think some of them. Yeah, it's not genuine. Although Dave Slaughter was genuine the other day, wasn't it? When he started commenting on the Twix box that it came in, that was fantastic. But I started getting nervous that maybe having Harry did a thing on the AMG, the big red AMG, and the wheels were weird, weren't they? The hubs you can't fit a Euro standard, trademark applies, tire to that. And I'm suddenly slightly panicking that this is going to have weird hubs, which will be a slight disappointment because I understand that Carrera tires are a bit ropey.
Oh, there's a number of things to pick up on there, aren't there? I think that, not unlike their friends down in Margate, I think they can make unique tyres for each model. So I don't think they're necessarily...
Why do they do that, though?
Well, because they're making thousands of them, and they may as well make the tyres to go with the wheels to go with the car. I don't know.
But don't they understand if they made them Euro standard, they wouldn't they could cut out some molding, tooling.
No, really, because they still have to make the tire. They can't use somebody else's tire more cost effectively than making their own. So they're going to be making a mold for a wheel and a tire anyway. And if they make so, take the 935 for example. The wheel is, if anything, probably a little large and a little low profile, but it's very sexy, and what it was. You compare that to, say, Slot It. Now, I know Slot It don't do a 935, but Slot It wheels on the Group C car, for example, it's one of my few gripes with Slot It, is the wheels are just a little bit small from a scale point of view, and I'm sure it's because they go better as a slot car. I have no doubt about that. But as from a scale point of view, they're just a little bit small. So it comes down to that question: do you make a scale model that happens to be a slot car and that goes well enough, or are you making a model race car that has to kind of look like something? And I think that's the fork in the road that all slot car manufacturers kind of have to go down, isn't it? And then the ones who make the best compromise, there's probably a graph. If we were a video, I would be plotting a graph at this point. There's probably a compromise that says scale accuracy up one axis and performance along the other. And it's not that you could have one, you could only have one or other. You can have bits of both. And I would say somebody like Scale Auto, Slot It, these are the guys who have the best combination of Sideways, yeah, another one. They have the best combination of performance and scale looks. But there you go, that's just me.
No, it's not just you, it's you and me. I agree with you entirely. So I just ripped off the rubberware on one of these hubs, and I was very disappointed to discover that it's got a massive shoulder on the hub. So there's no Euro standard tire going on that, which is a bit of a disappointment, but I'll see if I can't true these up somehow. Certainly put some lubricant on them and keep them and get them super soft and see how she goes once I've got the magnet. Is it just the one magnet nowadays? Because I remember
two.
Is it? There's one hidden in the midships, is there?
Yeah, buried under all the circuitry. The other thing, and please do this if you can, and I know you haven't got a track at home yet, so it's not so easy, but takes lap times straight away, because I put the timer on just for the sake of it every time I'm running the car. The early laps were the fastest I ever did with this car, and it lost a few tenths of a second thereafter, even though I was trying to drive it better. And I think that's partly the grip from the tyres. So brand new, they're probably a little bit grippier. Also, and this is a theory rather than the edge, the wall, that sort of sharp edge of the tyre is possibly where a lot of the grip, particularly on polycar, comes from. So as the car rolls slightly, it's kind of sitting on that edge. And I don't think it takes much to kind of just blunt that edge. And therefore you lose a little bit of that ultimate bite.
That's, if I may be polite, quite a mad theory.
Is that okay? Well, like I say, I don't do slot car tuning.
Well, as part of my slot car tuning, I would generally roll the edge off of a tyre.
Oh, okay, there you go.
So that it doesn't dig in, but it rolls a bit. That's just what
there you
go. But
this is why I don't win slot car races.
No, but you did well. I think the front of this thing looks bob on. I'm really pleased with this. I mean, I've been peering at it through the crystal box display case for days now, waiting to get my sticky paws on it, and I am not disappointed with this. I suspect I might be disappointed with the way it runs, but as a model, so it is the denim aftershave one, which has got a lot of very subtle white stripage on the flanks, and it all looks, to my dodgy eyes, pretty punchy. I don't think they're using decals, are they? They're Tampo printing, so that's definitely paint. Everything looks really sharp, from the edges of the model and the arches to the Gerhard Schneider Freiburg logo at the back. I'm really pleased with that, because this only costs 40 quid. It says Gerhard Schneider Freiburg. I don't know if that's who raced it. Is this a DTM car or is this a pro car or what? I don't know.
I think it would be the Pro Car series, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, wouldn't it then have a racing driver's name on it somewhere? I think this is
It would done if they pay the license, but you'll notice it doesn't say Goodyear on the tyres either.
Looks like it does. What's it actually? Oh no, it says Carrera. There you go. So we're back to licenses being quite expensive.
Yeah,
We've come full circle. That I am really pleased with. Sorry to keep on and on.
No,
now
well,
I've actually got my mitts on it. It's like genuine enthusiasm. It's not fake.
Excellent. But you still don't like BMWs.
I still don't like BMWs. No, they're rubbish. Ultimate driving machine. Yeah.
It's a shame that we didn't get together to try our two Carreras on the track at the same time. But there we go.
It is.
Better
but you
planning.
know what?
Better planning.
I'm such an alien retentive person. I wouldn't run mine. I won't run that one for a bit. I'm not going to run it and time it. I don't have a track to do that on. I'm going to blueprint that one, mate. That will be properly tuned and fettled. I'll take it down to the Oxford Centre for Technical Excellence and Speed, my shed, and I will work some magic on that, and it'll be an absolutely appalling performer by the time I finish with
it. take a perfectly good car and make it worse. Well, if it makes you happy, that's what it's all about.
It's a song as well.
Well, I think so. Well, I think the live unboxing on radio
that worked.
wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I think it was pretty poor. We have to listen back. We had the advantage. I had the advantage of seeing the thing in my hands. You could see it occasionally on the camera, but those two Americans that are listening into this, they're just like, what? I don't know what he's got in his hand. Actually, that was a completely bad American accent as well.
And after last week's high point of your Sean Connery was, I think, award winning. We probably ought to head to some sort of climax. Don't mention Bo Derek.
Oh no!
Too late.
Outrageous.
I am looking forward in the next day or two to going to a swap meet at Orpington.
Oh, yeah.
Now, whether we publish this before or after Orpington is really in the hands of the gods. But anyway, we'll find out. So I like that one because it's quite old school. There's lots of there's new stuff, but there's lots of old stuff and spares and tires, and it's quite a good rummaging thing. So I'm already looking forward to that on Sunday. And talking of swap meets and slot car gatherings, the big meeting at Gaydon, which I think it officially is called the UK Slot Car Festival. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Is only something like 6 weeks away, I think.
That's quite a way.
6 weeks at our age flies past. Yeah, so the sort of time you have to wait for a doctor's appointment. So I'm quite excited about that. And I was at the minute. Not that anybody's asked me. I'm starting going. Yeah, I'm going for 1 day. 1 day will be enough. I'm going for 1 day.
Fine. You would contemplate going for 2 days.
Well, I'm starting to go. Maybe I should find a cheap hotel and stay up and go for 2 days.
Oh my lord, that sweetie money in your pocket is really burning a hole, isn't it?
Well, it's all gone on a nice blue Porsche. But I think it's these things only happen once every 6 months. But so I'm looking forward to that.
But the Gaydon one is. It's quite a thing. I think it is quite a thing. It's really nice, like going to Gaugemaster, just seeing stuff in the flesh. I think that their slot cars, it's pushed into the corner by all the choo-choo stuff, but it's nice just to see it because we both said that we contemplated the Hemi Cuda, the Scalextric Hemi Cuda, Levi's sponsored one, is it? Well. Just seeing it in the flesh, it was like, oh, I could buy that. And then you look underneath and there's something else. You go, oh, I could buy that. And then you look again and there's the Thunder Slot Mustang and you go, I'm not buying that.
Did you wander around the foreign train section? Because if you did, you would have found a small Scalextric layout, basically the shape of Brands Hatch Club Circuit.
I did.
Which had on two NSR Fiats. Two NSR Fiats. And did you race? Did you race with the?
No, I was the only person in the shop on the Sunday, apart from 3 members of staff who, bless them, I salute them. They were excellent. They were of a certain age. They were slightly older than us. And I think I disturbed their chat and it was quite amusing. Bless them. I really felt it was part of the charm of visiting. But I saw that track, and I was quite surprised to see the Abarth on the circuit. Little known fact here: when they launched the Biposto, was it Abarth Biposto? Twin turbo.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I won some kind of competition, and I went hurtling around the actual Brands Hatch in one of those, and my God, it was a fun experience. Amazing car. Yeah.
Well, I did race with my other half, and I'm pleased to report that he beat me comprehensively.
Oh, and you went before me, and that would explain the big dent and the breakage on the Abarth when I.
No, you could have got it nicely set up because you can lap completely flat out when you just plant the throttle and these things go
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But that's great because if there's kids in the shop, they don't want to be thinking, "Oh, I can't do this." They could just pull the throttle and this thing rattles around this track, and so no, good on them. I think I first saw that when they had their open day last year. I mean, it may be older than that, but I think it's always good when you can go into a shop and you can physically hold stuff, physically see it, and also you can, if you can physically see, but you know what I mean. Well, not break it, no. But if there's a track that you can run a car on. Yeah. That's got to be a huge incentive to then part with the pocket money.
I'm not going to lie though. I looked very briefly at the track, and I spent way more time looking at the train set. Did you see the train set that had one little shunter moving backwards and forwards? I just loved the detail, and suddenly I was thinking, well, I've come in here to buy a Polycar spare part, but maybe I could buy the Flying Scotsman instead. Have you set up a railway track?
Did you see that the unpainted Flying Scotsman? I don't know what scale it was. I think 00, but it was they were showing off. It was mostly made of metal and different kinds of metal, and it was, I think, from memory, a shade under 600 quid.
Holy cow!
So it was a lovely thing, but the next time somebody says slot cars are expensive, I'm going to go, not as expensive as trains. But yeah,
the trains are quite expensive. I mean, I after the TV program about Hornby, I did actually, because they were talking about a TT scale, and I thought, well, that's quite small. I could have a little setup in the mad way that my head runs away sometimes. And then I saw the price of them. I thought, holy mother of, they're expensive things. So I'm not going to bitch about, the cost of a race of sideways or anything. But I mean, woof. Anyhow.
Well, yeah, it's getting there. Anyway, right. So next time, thank you for this. Next time we'll be to Scott has.
Don't worry, I'll edit that bit out. I won't. Add it at the end.
You cruel man. Anyway, thanks for listening. We've had fun. We hope you have too. And if you're at Orpington and you vaguely know what I look like, come and say hello. I've only met a couple of people who are listeners, and it's quite a thrill for me, not for them, for me. So they say hello.
Does that not suggest that we've only got those two in America and apparently two that are going to go to Orpington?
Well, that's a few more. Audience. We're reasonably big in Abergavenny. All I can tell you. The statistics tell us we're reasonably big in Abergavenny, but that's we need to do more on slot rallying.
Shout out to the Valleys.
You say that. And they've just done Abergavenny Slot Car Club. I've just announced their rally in the summer. So that's gone heavily penciled into the Brownlee diary. So.
Oh, okay. We'll expect a race report. Right. Wind it up, Scott.
If you've been listening, thank you very much. If you haven't, why not? Tell your friends, tell everybody, tell people you hate. It doesn't matter, just tell them. We won't ask you to like and subscribe because this is in YouTube. Anyway, I'm not blabberting on. Thanks for listening. Hope you have a great time with your toy cars, and we'll see you next time.
Cheerio, Scott.